Hello my friends, it's Grace and welcome back to another video. This is gonna be a little bit different just because I haven't done a vlog in quite a while, and this is also, might be a little bit discombobulated, but my plan for this weekend is to get a lot of reading done because a few weeks ago I did a video that is basically about quick reads or books that you could read in a day. And so I had the idea that I would do a reading vlog to go along with it, where I looked at my bookshelves, thought about books that I still have to read that I thought that I could maybe read in a day, and that I would try and get through 3 of them this weekend. So 1 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. And I don't know whether it's gonna work, but we are gonna try and we are gonna see whether this goes well for me or not. So you're gonna hear a lot more about these 3 books from me throughout the video. I will try and keep this spoiler free though, but the 3 books that are in my plans for the weekend are Ring Shout by Djèlí Clarke, which essentially explores the idea that Ku Klux Klan members are actual monsters and we are following monster hunters, and that's kind of the gist of it. So it's a very short book obviously, so we are going to follow these monster hunters as they hunt Ku Kluxes, and I'm really excited. I've gotten a couple pages into this one and I already really love the tone of it. The second book that I want to tackle this weekend is Piranesi by Susanna. Clarke? Yeah, I don't know why my brain just broke. And this is one that people say not to know too much about going in. I really don't. I only know that it's about this man, Piranesi, and this sort of house that is like a labyrinth maybe, or there's a lot of, I don't know, I really don't know, but I don't want to know either. So I'm gonna go into this tomorrow hopefully and blow through it. This one is about 245 pages, so I'm really excited for that. And then finally for hopefully Sunday is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, which is a very, oh my gosh, it's gonna fall right over in my hand, very small book as well, but I'm just gonna do my best, and I have some other plans as well, so I will bring you guys around a little bit with what I plan to do, and yeah, I guess this is it for my intro, and I will check in with you soon. Just as a fun little update, because this is my Friday, I'm currently in an engineering class for my job, which is, it's training, but it's engineering-based training. And anybody who knew me in high school, first of all, my condolences, but also physics of the sciences is not my strong suit, so pray for me. Really don't have anything to say because I'm still only a few pages in. I just wanted to show you all that I have a buddy. Rascal is my reading friend. Okay, so I'm only like 20 pages in, so not very far, but I have to go back from my lunch break soon, back to work, and I just wanted to say that this is already so good in terms of like character voices and like, well, authorial voice really, because the writing style is already so distinct, but the characters also are already so distinct. And I mean, it's a novella, so of course things are being introduced quite quickly, but already the monsters and the suggestion of the situation is so intriguing. So I'm so happy, and I do think based on this first like little bit that it will be realistic for me to finish this today. Of course I'll continue updating you, but if it keeps being this compelling, I don't think I'll have any problems. Okay, so I am just over a third of the way through, so I thought I would give another update. I'm still really enjoying it. So far, I think that the magic is even cooler than it was in the opening sequence. I'm really intrigued by the way that all of this works, and I think that it's really cool the way that Djèlí Clarke is kind in making the magic a part of like the real socio-political landscape that would have existed like in this time period and with these people. So I'm really interested in that. I think that he's doing such a great job. And I'm also really impressed with the amount of time that we've gotten to spend with the characters so far, even in just this small number of pages. And then I'm really happy that we are, because I already feel like I really like all of them, and I'm able to get invested for when we like inevitably ramp up the action and then kind of go to the climax. So yeah, I'm really impressed. And as you can see, I'm cold, so I'm cuddled up, but I'm going to have to doff my blanket because I'm going to go on a mission to buy a book cart because I'm out of space. So I'm going to hopefully, if I find one, show you guys and build it for you and like arrange some books on it. So that's my next goal, and I will update you on that. Okay, let me tell you, traffic was terrible. The weather is also terrible. So I'm just really hoping that I can find the cart that I want, because this day is not looking like it's adding up to good things. I mean, aside from the book's been great. So let's just see how it goes. Okay, so here's the deal. I had a free drink at Starbucks, so got myself a peppermint mocha. It's warm, I'm cold, and I'm ready to go home and attempt to put this cart together. And I really hope that it turns out well. Of course, you will observe, hopefully, me building this, and hopefully that's not embarrassing. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have my warm, yummy drink now. So I would have loved to have had actual daylight for this, but the cart is built, it has been accomplished, and I'm gonna put some books on it, but maybe not until tomorrow. Don't really feel like it tonight, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do it anyway. Either way, I will definitely show it off when it's full of books. So I don't have too much to say, but I'm about 60% of the way through, and I just wanted to say that I'm impressed with how creepy some of the ideas in here are, because I feel like if the premise of this book intrigues you, what you'll find in here is actually even cooler than it sounds. And some of the ideas, like some of the monsters and stuff, are really creepy, but like really well done, sort of mysterious. I don't know, it's really good. A little bit more than 75% of the way through now, and I'm really loving the stakes in this story and the personal exploration of our main character, Maurice, and just the fact that like it's personal emotional stakes, and I love that it's an exploration of pain and grief and a very personal connection between these characters, and the story, like the plot that's playing out, isn't just something that they happen to be participating in. It has a very like intimate and deep meaning to all of these characters, which I guess seems obvious when you think about the premise of like essentially Black freedom fighters against the KKK, but obviously we're putting a magical spin on it. So I really like the way that Djèlí Clarke like put the magical spin on it and then made the very personal connection between our main character and like her story and her journey. So I'm really loving it, and based on where I am, I think we're about to enter the final sequence, and I'm really excited. Okay, so first of all, happy to report that my first book of the weekend was a success in terms of like finishing it in a day, and it was incredible. So it was also a success in that sense. So I didn't mention this at any point up until now, but Ring Shout was initially in my 5-star predictions video that I made, and like rightfully so. I do believe that I'm gonna give this 5 stars. I mean, obviously I flew through it, but like it was so easy to fly through it. I would read like 20 pages without even realizing it and go back to check my progress, and like it was so compelling the whole way through. I feel like Djèlí Clarke just chose the perfect scope for this story because, like I mentioned in one of my earlier updates, it winds up being a very personal story for our characters, but it like I don't want to give any spoilers, but because of the nature of the magic and some of the things that we explore, he also makes it very clear like how much of a universal struggle this would be. I think that he did a really good job wrapping up the fact that this like war that we're exploring in this novella also has a broader scope, and I don't know, the themes were just so good, the emotions were so good. Honestly, the climax wasn't even my favorite part of the book, but I still thought that it was great because I thought that it was very appropriate for the emotional arcs, and it did make me a little bit emotional as well. So I pretty much enjoyed everything about it. I thought that this was so good, and I'm so happy. Good morning, everyone. I look like a sleepyhead, but just wanted to say, today, it's a new day, which means that it's time for Piranesi. And I was just reading the inside flap of this, and it literally says, "For readers of The Ocean at the End of the Lane" by Neil Gaiman, so that definitely just piqued my interest even further. But before I get into this, it is time to go to the gym and get my coffee, etc, etc. So I will check in with you later. Just had to tell you that. Hello, people. So I have my hair and makeup done. I'm ready to do my regularly scheduled filming, which I always do on Saturdays, like midday, fun fact, if you care. But I am only about 45 pages in to Piranesi, and I'm enjoying it. Like, it's fascinating so far, but I can tell that finishing this today might be a problem for me because of the writing style. And don't get me wrong, like, the writing style is very nice, but it's not the type of writing style that I can really read quickly. So I'm still gonna like do my best and I'll keep updating, but yeah, like I don't know if this is gonna happen today because it is 245 pages. However, I do think that the writing style is really interesting, and I think that the place being explored here is very fascinating and very like whimsical, and I like the type of perspective that we're being shown from Piranesi, so I won't say much more than that because this is, I think, very much an enigma of a book. But yeah, that's my update. Say hello!
Hello!
This is why I'm not reading Piranesi this afternoon, folks.
Understandably.
It's this man's fault. So I've made it to part 3, which is only about 82 pages in To be honest, I had way less reading time today than I thought that I would have, which is fine, you know, it happens. But I'm not gonna finish this tonight because I do have people coming over to play board games and stuff and order food, which is gonna be fun, but I'm not gonna be able to read. However, I've made it to part 3. We're really starting to get into the mystery, and people who have read this will know how intriguing this book is. I'm really fascinated by it. I'm really enjoying it, and it has definitely like picked up in the mystery aspect. So in terms of being compelled to keep going, I definitely feel that. I have a little bit more time to read now, but I just know that I wanted to do this update so that I don't forget what I wanted to say. I'm really enjoying the setting, and I'm really enjoying like the intrigue of it all. So it's all positive. I just know that I won't have time to finish this today, but I still plan to finish it tomorrow. So I will update you further whenever I get a chance. Good morning, my friends. It's Sunday. It's a new day once again. I'm ready to do some reading. I'm also ready to do some other Sunday responsibilities to get ready for the work week. But I should hopefully have a lot more reading time today than I had yesterday. Honestly, my whole logic behind these books that you could read in a day was the assumption that you would actually have a day where you had a lot of time to sit down and read, which unfortunately for me did not end up being yesterday. So I'm not like disqualifying Piranesi from being a book that you can read in a day or anything like that, because like I think I mentioned in one of my clips from last night, I think I only ended up having like an hour or 2 of reading time yesterday when all was said and done, maybe 2.5 hours, which is not enough time for a 250-page book for me. So we're gonna continue today and see how it goes, but I am very excited because I got to a part of the book that I was extremely intrigued by, and it's a really great book so far. So one idea being explored here that I think is really cool is sort of the idea of what academia and scholarship look like if our minds aren't fettered by the same kind of, I guess, social ideals of our current world, and if we didn't have the same preconceptions and like conventional knowledge of the world that we live in, what would science and research and scholarship look like in some place different, which is just really interesting. Okay, so I'm finished with Piranesi. I feel like I was able to blow through it this morning because it was really great. And I definitely could have read it in a day, like in theory, like I was explaining earlier, if I had more time. But I was super impressed with this. I'm not totally sure about my rating right now. I think it's gonna be either a 4 or a 4.5, but I definitely don't wanna say anymore because I agree with what like most people say about this. It's definitely a book that it's best to go into like knowing as little as you can, because that will give you the best experience as it unravels for you. But at its heart, this is definitely a mystery, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that it lived up to the hype because, again, it is such a short book. I don't always get as much out of really short books as I do out of longer ones, but it was really well done, and I find it fascinating that the 2 books that Susanna Clarke has written that she's well known for are this and the absolute tome that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which is like I think 800 pages long. So the duality of woman, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm really happy, and I am gonna try and get a start on The Old Man and the Sea later, but I'm not sure if I'll ultimately end up including it in this vlog since it's already mid-Sunday. We'll see how it goes though. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, so needless to say, I did not satisfy myself on finishing 3 books this weekend, but I've decided that I'm going to finish this vlog today and I'm still going to read Old Man and the Sea. And the reason for that is because my idea for this video became making it like a weekend reading vlog, but in its essence, it was still the idea of can I read these 3 books in a day that I had chosen? And since I kind of had extenuating circumstances with Piranesi. I never really got to start Old Man and the Sea. So if I start it today and I read it today, then like it still fits the criteria. So I did read a couple pages of this last night just to see like what it was about, but I do like Ernest Hemingway's like simple prose and simple storytelling style, so I'm excited to get into this, and I'll see. I probably honestly won't like be as enamored with it as with the other two books from this vlog. However, I'm still looking forward to it because this is a really short little guy, and yeah, I will update you. I'm about 100 pages in. I have about 25 pages left of this, so I thought that it would be an okay time for an update. And my general thoughts so far are, I know that people say that this book is boring, and I understand the reasoning behind it, because like when you look at it, it's like an old man and a fish. I get it. But for me, it hasn't been boring. I've honestly found it pretty tense, because for me, the thought of being far out at sea in a small boat is like a terrifying prospect. And also, Ernest Hemingway's writing style is really easy to read. So I think that those two things combined have made it so that this has just been like, honestly, it's been kind of a breeze. I'm not saying that it's like riveting necessarily, but I also don't find it boring. And I have a feeling that I'm getting to a part where things are going to be a little bit more tense, so I will update you at the end of the book. And yeah, so I just finished The Old Man and the Sea, so good news, I was successful at reading that in a day. It really is a short little book, and one thing I like is that Ernest Hemingway's prose is very simple. It is very accessible and easy to get through. So even though he's obviously like a very famous classic author, he is definitely not an inaccessible classics author. And that is one thing that I like about him. I've only read this and The Sun Also Rises personally, but I've liked that about both of them. And so I did enjoy the book. I think I'm settling on 3.5 stars. Like I said in my last clip, I know that some people find it boring. I didn't find it boring. I also think it helps that it was really short and kind of a breeze to read, because I just thought that it was a really simple story that represented its themes really well. Like the man struggling against the fish, and that's kind of just the core of the story. It really didn't need to be more than that, and it's sort of the idea in my mind of flying too close to the sun. Like, the man wasn't gonna give up, and neither was the fish. I'm not sure whether I should go into spoilers or not for a book like this. I don't know if it counts, but I won't say what I was gonna say just in case. But the whole idea of like struggling for something and then having it not really work out for you is sort of one of the main ideas of this book. I enjoyed it anyway. It was a very easy read, so it gets points for that. And overall, I feel like this has been a really successful vlog. So when all is said and done, I do believe that all three of these books, Ring Shout, Piranesi, and The Old Man and the Sea, are definitely three more recommendations of books that you could read in a day. Two of them I was genuinely successful on, and Piranesi I still think took me maybe about 5 hours total of reading time, so even though I had to split it over 2 days just because of the way that it worked out, you definitely could read it in a day. And also, once you hit a certain point in the narrative, it's really capturing where you just want to keep going. So if you do hit that point, I feel like you'll just be compelled to keep going through. But this was also a successful reading vlog in terms of my enjoyment. I did give Ring Shout 5 stars. What did I decide to give Piranesi? 4 stars, I think. And then this is 3.5 stars. So all books that I really enjoyed, and consider this 3 more recommendations from me. And yeah, I hope that you found this entertaining. I enjoyed it, I had fun, and this is a way to jumpstart your reading goals for sure, because this is certainly 3 more books than I expected to have finished in February. But overall, yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like if you liked it. Subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. I post videos every Monday and Thursday, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you in the next one. Bye!